How's it going, guys? It's now Wednesday. I got home from work about 5 to 5, which is awesome because I normally get home a lot later than that. So I've got another parcel. Oh, this is exciting. So this arrived today. Hopefully it's a set of DC2 clocks with the dash harness to go with it. So we've got the plugs, and the idea with this is to de-pin the DC2 harness, use the plugs, and then de-pin the ED7 harness, re-pin that in this plug so that we've got the signal can be jumped from the VSS from the clocks back to the ECU, which should hopefully give us VTEC. So here's the harness and the clocks. No cables here. VTEC, yo. And look, he's given us 3/4 of a tank of free fuel. These don't actually mount into the EF very easily. I think we need to take this tab off here and then sort of put something on the back. I don't know, maybe plastic weld something on the back, or re-drill these holes possibly. There is a thread actually which shows how to do it on one of the early model CRXs. That's actually helped us out quite a lot because that gives us the pin out for these clocks. We still need to find out what the pin out is on the ED7, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I'd just like to say, Rob, who always moans at me for being late, is now 25 minutes late. What a dick. So, I got bored of waiting inside. Fucking bored of waiting for him. I don't know whether to just drive there myself. I look like a homeless man at the moment.
Did you live?
What a dick.
Why are you standing on the road like a hobo?
Because I was bored of waiting for you.
Well, now you know how I feel every single day of my life.
Rob's crying because he was late. I just need to sit down.
I'm crying because I was late.
I need to sit down for 5 minutes just because my legs are tired. I've been standing up all day.
Yeah?
What a fucking pussyhole. I've spotted another little gift from Rob in his car. Oh bloody hell, it's heavy. Oh bloody hell. Extreme race battery. Comes with this little mounting frame. It's a bit smaller than I was expecting, to be honest. So I think we're going to put it behind the driver's seat. We have been down here for, what's the time? We've been down here for about 3 hours, I think. Rob gave the arches a second coat of paint. We tried to offer the fuel tank up, but we can't actually install it until the fuel pump arrives. We think we might have the wrong sender unit, but we think we've located one already, so that's not the end of the world. And I've been, well actually Rob has been as well, trying to tackle this. That's a lot of wiring. I think we've traced it out now and got our heads around it a bit. Our experience with sort of engine looms and interior looms before on other cars is it's a bit of a different setup, so we think we've figured it out. What are you doing, Rob?
Laughing at you.
Why?
Because no one's going to have a clue what you're talking about.
Everyone's going to know what I'm talking about. I love wiring. I don't know if you've seen episode 4, which shows you how much I love wiring. Today, to be honest, we thought we'd get a little bit more done than we did. So, because we were getting held up elsewhere, we decided to have a look at this wiring. So, it looks a total mess at the moment, because it is. Think we've figured it out. We've got an idea which we might be able to strip a lot of the unused stuff out, as long as it's obviously not plugged in and we're not jumping signals off those wires. So yeah, we're going to try and either strip some of it out, but for the moment what we're going to do is get it all in the car, plug it up to where it needs to be, get the blowers in, get the heater matrix in, get the dash back in, plug everything in, get the fuel lines connected, and we're going to try and start it. obviously if it works properly, that'll tell us what ones we do and don't need, and whether or not we've wired it correctly. The only thing which is holding us up, we think, is the fuel pump wiring, or the fuel pump sender unit. So at the moment on the fuel pump sender we've only got 2 pins, and we think that this is the fuel pump plug, which has 5 cables. So we're not sure. We think we might be missing a very small section of wiring which goes between that plug, the fuel level sensors, and the fuel pump itself. So yeah, if we can get that, hopefully we can get this sorted out. So it's going to be a combination on the weekend of doing brake lines and fuel lines below the dash and getting this wiring and all the dashboard in.
What's up? Just me for the moment. Dan is still at work. I think he's due back in about an hour's time, something like that. So I'd imagine he's probably left already actually, because his commute is about an hour or so. My plan, I think, what I'm going to try and tackle today is the rocker cover. Hopefully get some paint on that, and then the bay will look a bit better really. So I'll get started on that. I don't know what episode we're going to be on now, because we've got so much footage over the last week that is way too much for one episode, probably maybe even too much for 2. So probably coming to you from some point in the past. So car probably looks a little bit different now. Yeah, let's get down there and get cracking with it. I was going to try and set this up so you can see what I'm doing here, but I can't seem to find the head mount or the tripod. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just getting rid of all of these red bits with the wire wheel, because, well, obviously they need to come off. So yeah, I'm just going to get on with that and hopefully get rid of all of that, and then we can get it sprayed later this evening. So I'll do that. Okay, so this literally took me ages, and my fingers really hurt now, but all taped up, ready to be painted. Got the first coat on, looking pretty good. I missed it, but Dan was just getting naked in my car. Why are you wearing a shirt to the farm? Shoes?
Fuck off. Grow up.
So, quite a successful evening actually. I'll show you the rocker cover, because that looks quite cool. I don't know if you could be able to see it actually, but it's gone all wrinkly, which is cool. Happy with the finish on that. And we managed to get the rear suspension back on as well, or the rear arms, so that's all bolted up in there. Obviously the other side as well. That looks good. We haven't bothered tidying the arms up because we're going to get all new arms when we get suspension. So the lower control arms still look shit, the shocks still look shit, the camber arms still look shit, and also, you can't see, but under there the toe arms look really crap as well. So I've got to go. Successful Thursday night. See you on Saturday.
We're back again. We're back at the workshop. Rob's just changing his windscreen wipers. Well, he was, but he's got the wrong ones because he's a spastic. Because Euro car shots are shit. Yeah, we have put the rocker cover back on and it looks sick. Good spray job by Rob there. It's a tight fit with the solenoid and the master cylinder, as you can see. But it all seems to fit. Hopefully there's not too much movement in the engine when we floor it. So today's plan is we've got the new fuel pump and the expansion tank for the radiator and a few other bits which are down here. Walbro 255 and a little fittings kit there as well for it. We've got a Mishimoto expansion tank, which I think will match the colour of the radiator, which is good. The little bracket kit and whatever else. So big thanks to Scott at H-Tune on that one. He got that turned around quite quickly to get it here for us, so we could do that this weekend. Some new O-rings for the injectors. We're still waiting on 4 of those to come into stock, so we'll have a look and see what ones they are. Just sort of test fitting and getting the fuel lines bolted up. I think 4 will be fine. We can stick the fuel rail on anyway. So yeah, Rob's gonna have a go. I think. Well, I'm gonna tell him. He hasn't actually agreed to this yet. I've told him. I'm telling you. Rob's gonna have a go at getting the brake lines from the master cylinder down to the prop valve and then to the front wheel arches. So once we've got those in, I'll have a go at the fuel lines while that's happening, so I can get the tank up in position temporarily while we run the fuel lines. Once we've got all that in, we can start putting back the heater matrix, the blower, the wiring loom and all that sort of stuff. Get the dash back in and whatever else, so steering column and all that. It should start coming together relatively quick. Hopefully we'll get quite a lot done this weekend, over the course of the weekend, and it'll start looking in some sort of shape again. Adrian has lent us an electrical tester, so any points that we're not really sure about, I mean, sort of, we've got a pin up for the OBD0 plugs, but before we tap in the raw wire conversion harness, we just want to double check that the pin we're going into definitely goes to where we think it goes. So we'll just do a continuity test then from the plug to the fuel pump, make sure we're going into the right one and whatever else. So yeah, we'll keep you updated, see how it goes. What's that?
Well, it looks like a complete mess, but what it actually is a brake line to go from here to here, which is actually now too short.
So one of the rears are nearly in. Rob's playing around with the brake lines inside the car. Got the rocker cover back together and back on tight with the K-tune breather. We've got the fuel lines back on. They're only loose for the moment, but we're going to put a bracket in about here. The fuel lines are back on to the OPR, and the breather for the booster is back on. So we've tucked that underneath, just on the bottom of the booster down the back there. As you can see, the heater matrix hose tubes need repairing because somebody just crushed them when he took off the hoses. To be fair, the hoses were pretty sealed on with a bit of rusty water almost, and we couldn't get them off, so they are fairly soft. We've got the blower back in and the heater matrix is in, and there's a nice little mouse nest in there. So yeah, Rob's just making up the brake lines, as you can see, and one of the fuel lines is in on the inside with the fuel filter, K-tune fuel filter. I'll show you from the other side because Rob's in the way. I'm playing around with the new brake lines that Rob bought me for Christmas. Braided, stainless steel braided lines. So I managed to get the fuel pump into the bracket, although I still need to do the electrical connector because obviously it's different on the Walbro one. As you can see, Rob's just bolting up the pedal box. This is the bracket for the expansion tank, which arrived a couple of days ago, yesterday actually. So just getting the bracket on, we're going to mount the expansion tank and see what it looks like.
Sick.
Squeak.
We might have to amend this slightly.
Yeah, put that on, that'd be alright. Yeah, that's good. We'll just have to leave that mark on there and cut it a bit further. They're having a bubble with this one, aren't they? What the fuck's that all about?
It's because it's for an EG. The slam panel on an EG is probably out here.
So I'm just making up the last of the fuel lines. It's a little bit dark over here, I don't know if you can see. So we put the hose in and we put a bit of an insulation tape around the fitting just so that the vice doesn't mark it. And then we've put a little bit of oil on the threads and on the end of this bit that you screw in, just to help it sort of lubricate it as it goes in, stop the hose pushing out the other end. We just watch it really closely to make sure, on a point on this braid here, to make sure that it doesn't push the fuel hose back out. So yeah, it looks like it's going in okay now. So I'm just going to finish this one off, put that onto the filter, and then I'll do the other end then for the tank connection. Once I've done that, we've got to run one from all the way from the firewall all the way back to the tank just for a return line, so that'll have no other joints in it. So we've got this one to make off and then 2 more ends to make off, and that's all of our fuel lines done then. So yeah, Rob's still pissing about the brake lines. I'll show you how far he's got. How you getting them?
Look at that. Oh, very smart.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's getting there. So we need Rob to make up 2 more just to go to the front left and front right wheels. Once he's done that, we've got enough access then under the dash that we can start putting everything back in and getting the loom back in and the dash and the steering column and all that. So hopefully that'll move quite quickly. I think he's got a really difficult one to do next though. So the first rear brake line's actually in now, as you can see. Well, you can't actually see. The first one's in, comes all the way along and up. We've got a flaring tool which fits into the vice, so we've actually got to take the whole thing back out again. So we thought we might as well put the other one in. Rob's just bending that into position. So that one's going to go in, run along with it, and get it almost there, and then we're going to flare the 2 of them at the same time. So while Rob's doing that, I'm going to put the fuel fill lines back in, and that's it. I don't know why I'm still talking.
Fairly successful day. I don't know what time it is, I haven't got a watch on, but it's getting late. We're late for being at the pub and Sam's going to be quite angry. So we're just sort of wrapping up now, but yeah, like I say, we've got quite a bit done. We've got all the lines back in here. They're just on loosely for the moment, so we actually need to take the studs off of the intake manifold in order to put some new hardware in there. So these are all just sort of loose for the moment, but gives a good idea of what it's going to look like. So yeah, obviously the rocker cover's back on, that's done wrinkle black. The brake booster line's all hooked up underneath there. So we've rotated the master cylinder so it doesn't come out sort of either side. It sort of, you can run it underneath and be a bit discreet about it. We've got the new Mishimoto coolant expansion tank in as well. Luckily we managed to bolt it to the actual engine mount, so we haven't had to drill into the paint luckily, so that's installed there. It looks pretty good when the rad's in. All of the fuel lines are also plumbed in on the inside, so we've got a fuel filter here, and they run back all the way under the filler neck and into the tank there. And the brake lines are also done as well, so they're all P-clipped in. You can't really see over that side, but they run from either side obviously down the tunnel, and they've actually run out of P-clips, but the prop valve is under there, so everything is plumbed in. And as you can probably see there, we've run some through from the firewall. They're not the prettiest, but they do the job, and they'll be under the dash, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Been a pretty productive day, and like I say, we're off to the pub, so we'll be back tomorrow for some more fun.
I don't know if you've ever taken rear trailing arms off by yourself, but it's not that easy. If you ever do it, definitely recommend propping them up with something. I've only got 1 bolt left and they're now holding it, just taking the weight of it. It's all loose. Just get the weight of the front, it should just drop straight up.